place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. And we are back on a Thursday. Back with you guys, getting ready to talk all things Tigres on the Lautimes podcast, powered by StreamYard. Great to be back with everybody tonight. On a Thursday, we're the only podcast talking about the CONCACAF Champions Cup finalist, Tigres of Monterrey, of Mexico, in English. Only podcast doing that. Such a thing. And it's great to be back. I'm Dennis. I'm the host, producer, jack of all trades, if you will. Great to be back with you guys. If you're watching live with us or if you're listening back on podcasts later, thank you for being here. I'm very happy to be joined by my friend in Austin. You know him as Tigres_English if you are in our Twitter community. It's the coach. It's the tactics man. It's Luis. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm very happy. It's been a good couple of days. Had a little bit of everything.
Agreed. Threakers in the house. What's up? Glad you're here, my friend. Threaker, you should share the link with somebody or on Twitter so that we can get more people on here tonight. We want chat to be active. We want some interaction with you guys, so please join us. And we'll get going. We have a lot to discuss tonight, as we always do, on this Thursday. Before I dig into our outline, and before I finish housekeeping stuff, for the first time in a long time, I've decided that we should have an unofficial sponsor, aka what food is Dennis eating this week? What snack is he eating? So today, our unofficial sponsor is this, what they call a super protein cookie that I found at Sam's Club. That is literally just a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie, and they just put whey protein concentrate in it. But it's actually quite delicious. So I've been chowing down on these over the last month or so. But you have to have them refrigerated, which is interesting. So
I thought you were a Costco person.
we have both. They only have these at Sam's. Sam's is closer to our house. We've been Sam's members for longer. The Costco nearest to us is a little further away. But we go there more now just because it's better for us. But I'll go back for this.
Speaking of Sam's, don't they have a Fruity Pebbles flavored protein drink too?
Probably. They be having some crazy stuff in there.
I've seen that one. I've actually sampled it. It tastes like the Fruity Pebbles.
Really? Ugh.
Like what's left over of the milk of the Fruity Pebbles when you. Yeah,
when you be eating it.
It's quite a bit of a, like, it feels like a big sugar rush, but I guess they use sugar substitutes.
Yeah, they probably use like all those, random other sweeteners like allulose or whatever, sucralose, whatever all that nonsense is called. We're not going to turn into a health show tonight, unless you guys want to. Unless you guys want us to.
This isn't the Huberman Lab podcast.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I don't think we necessarily even want to be.
We don't have the education to be.
No.
At least not this guy.
Not me either. It's just us two tonight. So please, y'all, for real, come hang out and chat and be with us. Don't forget to follow and subscribe and share if you haven't already. And all our podcast people, thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a comment, leave a review, rating, all that. We've gotten some uptick on both the YouTube and the Spotify front recently. We've gotten a couple new followers on Spotify, and we are now at 50 or 51 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. So thank y'all for supporting us. Unprofessional Nutritionist Pod incoming. Hey, if the people want it, we can do it. Not tonight, but we can do it. Anyways, thank y'all for following along and supporting our show. It helps a lot. All right, my friend. Shall we start with Tuesday, where Tigres clinched their spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup final for the first time since 2020, with a 1-0 win at home against Nashville, a 2-0 aggregate score, and like I mentioned, first appearance back in that final since we won it 6 years ago. I was gonna ask you your overall thoughts about the game, but I feel like it's only fitting that we talk to somebody who was actually there and somebody who I'm actually surprised that he's here tonight on the show. So Alfred down in Monterrey, aka Tigres Takes, is here with us. How are you?
How's it going, guys? How you been?
Oh, good. Even better now that you're here, dude.
I'm good.
Tell us about Tuesday. How was the stadium? How was the vibe? Everything.
It was a great game. I mean, obviously, the 1-0 doesn't speak a lot about the game, but it was, puro trámite, mero trámite. It was just, everything under control. It just felt like, we just had to, maintain, possession of the ball. And it looked like Tuca ball, for the most part. So I know we're gonna get into it, but I mean, we enjoyed it. Myself and Arnoldo, we watched the game together. He came down to Monterrey and we were there. So celebrating another final.
Yeah, y'all are good luck with semifinals, bruh. Last time we had a semifinal in the stadium, y'all were both there, and we advanced to the next final. So
Another trip to Toluca May 30th, Alfred, or what's the game
I
plan?
I don't know. No, I mean, I went there to the last final and we lost. So I don't want to jinx it
yeah,
again.
be
And
the bad
so
juju.
I don't
Oh,
want to be the bad
AJ wants
juju.
you to show off that kit. Look at that kit that you got on, big guy.
That's
Woo,
oh, that's the 0304 away, man. I love
dude.
that entire line was
This
awesome, dude.
with this is probably the only year that I have like all three kits. So this is the one that came, it was identical for all three kits. So the yellow and then blue inverted and then the black
Black
with
one,
yellow.
bro.
Yeah, so I
Dude,
have all three kits of this one.
amazing, amazing. Oh man, it looked like it was a great atmosphere. The tifo was great. Yeah, just looked like a classic Champions Cup night when everybody's on and it was sold out and all that. It was great. I'm glad the vibe was great and everything went well, and obviously, of course, a little jealous that y'all were there and that I couldn't make it last second like I thought I was going to, but it is what it is. Um but yeah, Lou, you and I, were watching this game from our televisions. Um, just your thoughts on how we did and how we advanced to the final.
Really proud of the boys, man. I thought we were very good tactically. The 180 minutes, no mistakes. I know the saying gets overplayed, but I think experience played a big factor in this one. You could tell the boys are very battle tested. Uh, just the way they handled the game, the situations, the ups and downs. There was composure throughout. If you would have told me before the series started that we were only going to allow 2 shots on goal for 180 minutes, I would have signed up. Their combined XG was at 0.6, which is just kind of tells you how well we were. And it's not because we like bunkered down and played in a low block. It's just that the midfield was so good, just kind of becoming a shield for us and stopping all the attacks. I mean, they have plenty of weapons even with their absences. They still have plenty of players that can cause damage. Espinosa, Mukhtar, Kassem. So they have the weapons, but somehow we were able to control the match. And I thought we did so well, especially a little stretch there where we started to look very tired. I thought the fatigue was kind of kicking in. Gorriaran goes down. That had me worried. But we were just weathered all the storms, and we were the better team for 180 minutes, and it showed. It showed that we have the experience, that we've been through these battles before, and we know what it takes to get to a final in situations like this. And it pays off because we've had so many battles in Libertadores and in Conca, and we've lost Conca finals, and then what we had to deal with in league play. and you could tell the guys are starting to, especially the young ones, are starting to learn what it takes to win. I feel like we're finally getting that carryover from the older generation into the new, because you know 2 3 years ago I was a little bit concerned. I was like, man, are we gonna lose that DNA that we had with Nahuel and Aquino and Gignac and all those guys that been through all those tests? And Gorriaran said it perfectly after the game. He said it's time for us to kind of carry the torch and start to win some of these games on our own. And so I was like really proud of the performance. Uh, Shout out to Nashville. I think they're a great team. They're a really solid team. I think they're going to do really well in their local league. So it's a feather in our hat. I think what we did, and definitely a pat in the back for the boys for how well they handled it. I thought Pizarro was excellent too with the changes he had to make. He was forced to make some tough decisions, and he did so well. He goes to show that he knows the squad inside out and knows which players to plug in when. So just awesome performance by everybody. Even the ball boy gets a shout out because that goal was basically him being heads up, playing quickly to Brunetta to get that throw in, and then that led to the goal. So everybody was dialed in. The fans were dialed in. Everybody kind of knew what was at stake. So definitely a great series, and I'm really confident going into this Toluca final.
I want to stick to that point that you made about Gorriaran, and AJ's even kind of emphasizing it here as well, saying he's finally sounding like a captain, and we've been needing that leadership. He said it post game this as well, like not just that we need to win these games. He said this generation needs a title. This iteration of the team needs a title, and there's a sense of urgency and a sense of resilience within the team that we can finally see. Because it's been an up and down season. We've talked about it at length. This sort of Jekyll and Hyde roller coaster ride that we've been on, and yet now, ever since that first Chivas game in the league, not the one that we just had last week, but ever since the one in the regular season, we've turned a corner mentally, with our play, with our defensive stability. Like, we have not allowed a lot of goals since then. Excuse me. Allergies suck.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah. So just like you guys mentioned, really proud. It was a tough game. Like, Nashville came to play. They lose Yazbek in the warm-up, and you think, oh, we're going to dominate the midfield. Shout out Acosta, man. He held it down. And Cochran was also really good, too. And they made it tough. Like, they had a couple half chances where, okay, maybe you think that they convert a couple of them. I say that, and I'm going to hopefully try to share my screen here in a second. Yes. Yes, give me the chance to do this, please. What I'm seeing, or what I notice, is that a lot of their shots were, not in the best places, and I was wondering, even if, we were not letting them have a ton of chances, like, where are those shots coming from? Let me see if I can share this. Yes. Okay, can y'all see that? Y'all see my
Yeah,
screen? Okay.
yeah. Right now it's
So
showing the formation,
the
the
ratings.
lineup.
Okay, so this is what I want to mention. We were talking about this privately, but I want to show this to everybody. Look at that shot chart right here where my cursor is at. This is the Nashville shot chart. This is the only shot they had in the 6-yard box. That's it. It was this Baker Whiting chance right at the end of the first half off a set piece. Look at how we nullify their attack completely. Even though they had half chances, they never got close. That XG being so low, like you mentioned, Lou, that's such a big deal. For an attack that, with or without Surridge, right? Like, they're a good attack. Pizarro, as you mentioned, had the perfect game plan for Mukhtar. Just put a body on him. Have somebody trail him the entire time.
Araujo really locked him
Araujo
down.
And
had him in his
Vigon, too.
pocket.
Vigon pressed the heck out of him at various points throughout the series. Kudos to him. Kudos to both of them. And just made it really difficult Espinosa did not have a great series because our left side held it down. Paco Reyes, solid both games once again. What a revelation he's been. Um,
New
if it
signing, according to a couple of Twitter accounts, they are saying that he's officially now has been signed by Tigres.
well,
And
that's great.
it's funny, Alfred. I think it might have been Piojo Herrera who leaked that information in an interview.
Yeah, because he was like, I wanted to keep him, but I guess I'm not going to be able to, or something like that, which is hilarious. Um, it's okay. Piojo can have a chicharito. It's fine. Um, yeah, just really really proud. Um, and again, against a team that we've talked about over the last few weeks that is playing the best that they've ever played as a club, right? Like we've talked about this within ourselves. We've talked about it with Tyler from Big TV when he's come on. This is the best Nashville that's ever existed, and yet we were able to neutralize them in such a way that it seemed like it wasn't that way like previously. It seemed like that they weren't this, team on such a hot streak and, top of the league standings in MLS and all that. We've really done such a good job to be able to find a way to limit how they played, and obviously there's an element of health to that as well. I don't want to like completely dismiss that because that is a factor in the series. Like, how could things have been had Surge been in there, Yazbek the whole time, Eddie the whole time? But we took advantage of those absences, and here we are,
No,
90
I
minutes
mean,
away from an
And
international
I mean,
title.
we
So,
had absences too. I mean, we were missing Joaquin,
absences
who was our
max.
best center back.
Fred, you've turned into a robot. So, um, yeah, yeah, I'm with you, Lou. Like, we're not even completely
I
healthy
guess we are.
ourselves. So, again, resilience. This series was all about resilience and staying patient, and the boys did, like we mentioned, a great job of that. Farfan and Reyes on the left, much needed depth, big time. Yeah, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, it just goes to show, right, that in these tournaments, Liga MX teams still continue to their dominance in their home stretch, right? Like a lot of people were placing a lot of emphasis on Leagues Cup and MLS kind of having closed the gap. And I'm not saying they haven't closed the gap. I think they are trending upwards and getting pretty evenly matched with Liga MX teams. But when you make it a fair tournament, a home and away, it goes to show that still the top Liga MX teams have an edge over the best of the MLS teams, and they still have a lot of work to do. And just kind of reading a lot of the Twitter comments today, there was some MLS accounts were being realistic and accepting what's going on, and some were still kind of creating excuses. And so we'll see how MLS sees it now that you have two Liga MX teams. When I think a lot of them were pretty confident that they were going to get two MLS teams in the final. So it might be a bit of a wake up call, and we'll see what they decide if they open up an additional DP spot, maybe kind of make that salary cap a little bigger. We'll see how they move forward with this. I'm sure it wasn't well received in the MLS community, but coming home with the result that we had at Nashville kind of gave us that boost, the confidence to be able to play with some calmness. For Gorriaran to be able to say, "Hey, I'm gonna step out, let me go and come in," just kind of goes to show that they had a feel for Nashville and were pretty confident that they were gonna take the series. So shout out to the boys, man. I thought they did great, and hopefully they're getting rest and getting ready for the Chivas game.
Well, at least Nashville put up a fight. I can't say the same about LAFC after what we saw transpire last night in their
What would have
game
happened
versus
if they would have
Toluca.
scored that goal though,
I
right in
know,
front
I
of us?
know.
Tillman,
If Tillman doesn't miss that chance, it's a
Yeah.
completely different game. But I mean, they crumbled after that. They completely crumbled. Um, so
What we
much
got to say
so.
about our streak though? We reached 48 games against international teams.
Hey, that's right. Big
You know,
time.
Alfred, I never mentioned it before a series because I'm always like worried that I'm gonna jinx it or something, you know. And then I always forget to bring it up after the series is over. So, but yeah, man, it's just amazing. Like, I think a lot of clubs don't know that when they come to El Volcán, they think, oh, it's gonna be a tough place to play. But if you think about it, we've had River Plate, Corinthians, Sao Paulo. We've had Once
Internacional.
Caldas. You know, we've had so many big time clubs visit El Volcán and haven't been able to get a win. So just goes to show, you know, how impactful El Volcán can be.
None is none as crazy as the mighty Forge FC. Anyways, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a fun night when we when we played them. Fun watch along too. Um anyways, yeah, just overall to put a bow on it, it was a great two-legged performance. The away win I think changed a lot of stuff for this team as well, like mentally, because we've had such a struggle like on the road. We started off well on the road in the league, and then we crumbled, and then we were awful on the road all throughout Champions Cup play until the first leg. And that is such great timing considering that now we have to play a final on the road here in 3 weeks. So um, before we move on from
How do you guys
Champions
feel
Cup,
about it? I know we'll talk about it when we get closer,
yeah,
Dennis,
that's what
but
I
how
was
do you
gonna
guys
say.
feel?
Like, yeah, what are our first thoughts about Toluca in the final again? That's exactly where I was going.
I got some thoughts. Last year we made it to that final, and nobody was putting money on us, right? I mean, we were clearly not the favorite team in the final last year. Yet we made Toluca sweat. You know, we kept that game close. If it wasn't for unlucky, penalty shots and perhaps even just a wrong decision on Pizarro on starting with Guignac rather than with Ibanez, which we could all argue should have been backwards. We were this close to winning it. This time around, this Tigres is better than last year's, and we can argue in all of our lines. I think Araujo has come to strengthen the midfield for us. I think that our defense is more solid despite the absences. No matter who you plug in or no matter how Pizarro needs to make adjustments, whenever he needs to make adjustments, it seems like we've gained, just uh, a different spirit than what we had last year. Last year was just, we'll take what we can get, right? And it was, one game at a time. It was, you know, it almost seemed like, we were lucky to get to that final based on just the entire, performance in the entire year and, not having something solid. But this year I truly believe that we have the means and we have the capability and we have the coach and the experience. And like, Gorreran is saying, I think that, I mean, ultimately the players, they're dialed in and they want this. And it's a perfect revenge just 5 months later against the same team in the same stadium.
Yeah, just adding to what Alfred said, I think he hit the nail on the head when he brought up Araujo. He gives you so much work on the pitch that last year was Brunetta having to pick up the load. And I think we criticized Brunetta a lot because he wasn't making that sacrifice at times, right? And I think part of it was just fatigue, right? Long season, and then you get into a dogfight in the Liguilla, and then you're having to face a really tough opponent that has a really good midfield. Let's face it, Toluca was stacked in that midfield, and they make you work. And I think at times Brunetta was just too tired to go back and forth. And I think having
Just
Araujo
overwhelmed.
there, yeah, Araujo there is gonna he's gonna do that dirty work that we need. And Brunetta's gonna be a little more free to do what he does best, which is the attack and help out Correa. And so
No,
I just think that midfield is so much more balanced.
I have a question for you because me and Lou were talking about this in the game a couple of nights ago. I can't put my finger on it. I Every time I try to think of what player, from the past Tigres players, does Araujo remind me of? And I can't place it. I feel like we have, a different combination of elements in his play that we've never had before. Like at first we thought, oh, he's just like, all over the field and just, biting on players and, kind of like, I don't know, Cubero style, like really, rough, dirty player. But he's not. Like he's got some technique to him and he's got
Yeah.
some timeliness. Like he's got good timing, when he's making these tackles and these challenges and it just ultimately, he's got good positioning. He's never lost, where he's supposed to be at. He tracks back, awfully well. Like I can't pin it. I can't actually compare him to somebody that we've had in that position in the past.
Yeah, he's got pretty unique, and honestly, he's better offensively than he leads. Than I think by Pizarro's instruction, he's been kind of said, "Hey, focus on the defensive aspect, right? Helping us play out clean, and not so much on pushing up." But look at some of the Orlando games from last season. He actually pretty good about pushing up, so he could eventually develop that aspect of his game. But I mean, I'm with you. I think he's just really tough to nail down. Um, he's got a lot of good qualities in him. I think he reads the game really well, and I think that's why Pizarro brought him in because I think tactically he's got a really good mind. It took him, about 6, 7 games to get in rhythm because he was just so rusty. But you're starting to see, oh, Dennis, my goodness.
What I mean, what else do you want me to do? I'm a 26-year-old idiot who's around kids all the time. You
Se
set
va a
me
enojar
up, man.
Alfred, bro. Se va a enojar Alfred.
Hey, what minute did Brunetta score on Tuesday?
No way.
Yeah, he did.
For
67th
real?
minute.
No.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
dead
my
serious.
God.
My buddy
Hey,
Clayton,
hey,
friend of the show,
this is
Clayton
this is
Cooper,
this is how
saying
you
6-7
know.
goal to me when that
This
happened.
is how you know we're different generations. Neither Lou nor I paid attention to that, like, or even,
Yeah, we don't care,
that's
bro.
not relevant.
Bro. Anyway, sorry, Luke. Please go on.
No, the only other thing I want to add about this series is I think Gallardo not being there for them, I think is also going to be key because that matchup last year between Lainez and him, that was a tough battle for Lainez, and I think he might have a better shot this year of excelling. And I like the way Pizarro is giving Lainez some time off. You notice like he didn't start him. We started Marcelo in that Nashville game, and I
Which,
think part
ugh,
of it is minute management. Oh yeah, we could talk about Marcelo all day, bro, but
that was the worst part of the game for sure.
that might have been his worst game at Tigres ever, bro. That was, and I could hear the fans. The fans were getting really frustrated with him too. Every time he touched the ball, the fans were kind of like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen here?" And I think Pizarro understood, and I think he did great to pull him when he did.
Yeah,
We
big time.
needed him
Chicha
out.
and Chicha has his game is growing. Like his confidence is
Yeah.
allowing him to thrive now. Like it's because it almost feels like, in past seasons and, past performances or whenever he was plugged in, you were still getting kind of that, that newbie kind of, nervousness performance, where he was making careless mistakes or like just either, coming in too full throttle and, but now like he's coming in at the right rhythm of play, like, whether offensively or defensively, he's always on the right pace. And he's he's a good weapon to use coming off the bench now. Maybe
Yeah,
even better than Osiel.
Yeah.
yeah. He's making good decisions, bro. Like you mentioned, it's part of his maturity is that his decisions are better. When he needs to dribble, he dribbles. When he needs to pass, he passes, and he knows. And when he knows when he takes needs to take a shot, and I think he's understanding the positioning where his teammates are going to be. So he's starting to find his teammates. It's I think he's a nightmare for a lot of guys, man. I mean, I don't want to throw the name out, but I'm gonna throw it out. Like Pony Reese, I think he could develop that type of game if he continues to. You know what I'm saying? If he continues to work on his game, potentially he could become a Pony Reese
I
type of
mean,
player for us.
I don't think you can equate Ponies Reese's touch on the ball because his touch was like unbelievable. Like his precision on his crosses and through balls. I don't think we got that out of Chicha yet. But with the control of the ball, with his pace, with his dribbling, with the quickness and how he, shifts, I think so. Obviously, his height, nonetheless reminds us of him, right?
Right. One thing I will
Dennis,
say,
did you even see Pony Reese?
no, bro, no, no, no.
You
Of
you don't
course
even know
not.
who we're talking about, do we?
I vaguely remember the name, yes, but
So he played alongside Jared Borghetti in the Santos that won. I don't know if they won a couple of league titles
yeah,
back in the
one or
day.
two, right? Yeah,
Yeah, back when Santos was relevant in a sense. And Pony Ruiz was a really really great player.
yeah. Back in the año el Kikiri, as we all know. Nah, I'm playing. One thing I will say, um, is that I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Selfishly, deep down inside, I was kind of hoping we got LA for the reason of even though they have speed on the wings and obviously they have good attackers, their defense is really shaky, right? Very, very shaky defense. Lloris has been good this season, but their center backs are all over the place, in my opinion. Toluca's not going to be like that, except I do think that Pereira, for them not being around, I don't think he's going to be back, I assume, for the final. That's
I think he's
also
back. I think he'll be back, Dennis.
really. I read like early June is when he recovers from his injury, but if he's back, then that's not good for us because, that's good for them, and he helps them out a lot. Gallardo obviously will be a big miss, and that benefits us, and obviously Vega, as well, being on with the national team. So they're mostly the same team that we played 5 months ago. So um, I'm a little bit skeptical in some ways, but also like you mentioned, we have a better team now than we did last year. Um, we match up better with them in some ways. We're more familiar with them, and we're not going to be intimidated by the fact that we're going to their stadium and all that. Like we're not ideally we're not going to have an LAFC game like last night. Like we're not going to crap the bed because that's a stadium that we play in all the time. We know what it's like. We know the altitude. We know what's going to go on. So I guess we're going to keep talking about this for a second because look who joined us. El papá,
Wow.
el papá del show,
He was flying back
What's
Arnoldo.
to
up, guys?
Houston and his flight got canceled.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm stuck in Monterrey.
No way. That's
Are you
crazy.
at the airport, bro?
I'm literally in line at the Viva counter.
That's
No
wild, bro.
manches,
Turn
bro.
on your camera. Turn on your camera. Come on. We got to see that.
Mira el pelo, güey. He looks like he just came back from Cancun.
Bro, yeah, he looks like he's coming back from Cancun.
I'm always coming back from Cancun. So spiritually. What's up,
uh,
guys?
what up? How you feeling? How was your POV from Tuesday night being in the stadium?
Um, I might need some help with this word, but I told Alfredo many times, un partido de trámite. Um, we didn't exhaust ourselves. It was very calculated, very precise in the way that we approached it. I think that we weren't necessarily cautious, but at the same time, we knew what we were looking to get out of the match, whether it was a tie or a 1-0 loss. We were very disciplined on the field, and then we also created some chances as well. And I think overall, I'm going away with the attitude. I mean, the significance and the symbolism of the play of how we score the goal, incredible. It's just ball boy, your offensive, quote unquote best if not second best player, rushing, give the ball to your best or second best player on the squad, depending on how you look at it. and it's just magic happening as they have the last few games. So I think one of the best games in a while for me as a true soccer fan, and just looking at how the team is just has a different approach, and I think you can tell that there's a lot of experience and learned moments from the last 6 months or so, and we were able to capitalize here in this match.
Player of the match from Tuesday.
Bruneta, without a doubt, he's been our best player for the last few weeks, month and a half or so.
Okay, Lou, Alfred, agree or disagree?
I agree. And
Completely agree.
Correa had a terrible night, bro. I think maybe his worst game as a Tigre. But
And still got an
that
assist.
that boy has so much credit in the bank, bro, that I don't think there was a single fan that complained, bro.
So, here's my take, and because, obviously, guys, I've, I'm not ashamed to admit, that I've trashed Brunetta, plenty of times here in this pod and on Twitter.
You have?
But
No, not
yeah,
you, Alfred. Not you, bro.
but just like Arnoldo, can change his mind about Linus, I can change my mind about Brunetta.
Hey.
Just like Lou can change his mind about Ibanez, I can change my mind about Brunetta. See, here's the thing though. What I always did not dislike about Brunetta was not his talent. We all knew he had this talent in it. Was just his lack of character on the field, and just lack of balls. Yeah, just it always seemed like when he could do more, he was always just like, no, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna send the ball back. And it was almost like he was just being like a stat merchant, and just trying to get his touches in, right, and trying to get his accuracy percentage, pass accuracy percentage high, and whatnot. And he wasn't really like tracking forward or pushing the team forward, or demonstrating his talent towards the offense like we wanted him to. It was almost like he had to be put in a position to score for him to actually score for us, or generate any chances. But now, at least over the last month, it's been a completely different player. Like 180 degrees. I've not seen Brunetta grab the ball and just like turn around and pass it back to the defense. I've not seen Brunetta, face two players and then, get rid of the ball. Now he's actually like challenging himself and challenging, defensive players to like dribble past them, to, make fantasy plays, and fight for the ball. You have Brunetta actually fighting for balls against other defensive players, when before it seemed like he was scared of to put his leg in. And so that's what I was always looking out of him. The talent was undisputed. Nobody ever disputed the talent. That's the reason why we brought him on. Every time he could score, he could put it up in the top corner, no problem. And he's still showing that, but now he's also playing for the team. And I think that the reason for this has been Correa. Just the fact that you have, the highest earning, I think he's the highest earning player, right, on our team, Correa, who's, obviously been, he's a World Cup champion. He, played in one of the best teams in the world, and obviously, in the best tournaments. And yet he's coming to Mexico, to Tigres, and he's not, just laying on the hamaca, or just retiring here. He's actually like setting the example for everybody else. So now Brunetta is like, well, if he does it, why shouldn't I? So I think that's the attitude we're getting out of him that we had before, and I believe it's thanks to Brunetta and obviously Pizarro.
Well
Yeah, I
said.
think it helped out that Pizarro sat him down after that. What was it, Forge game or whatever? He's having a meltdown. I think
Yeah.
it was probably a group effort. Probably Pizarro, Nahuel, Gignac, Correa, all kind of sitting him down, talking to him. Get your head
Correa.
straight. Yeah, like I think they coached him up, and I think his attitude changed. I think he was a little too focused, like you said, maybe on the stats, on getting the goals, getting the assists, and he forgot that really the game is about winning, making your teammates better. And I think that shifted his mindset. I think now he's more about the team, and that's coming with rewards because now he's scoring, he's making assists, and I think the team is making a sacrifice for him too now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's his team now. I mean, Correa is a splash signing, but Brunetta was a splash signing prior to that, and we've been wanting to make it his team. And Correa, even though he has the more upside due to being a World Cup champion and playing at one of the best teams in the world, in Atletico Madrid, it's Brunetta's team. Correa goes at the pace that he chooses every game, and typically it's
Oh, did we lose him? Yeah, we lost you. I don't know. Oh well. I blame it on the airport Wi-Fi. Pinche aeropuerto.
Crappy Wi-Fi at Monterrey Airport. It's probably because it's named Monterrey. If it was named Tigres Airport, it'd probably have better Wi-Fi.
Hey, bro, Territorio Tigres, the restaurant about to open. They've been promoting it like crazy on Instagram over the last couple of days.
Where is
Where's
it going to
that
be
opening?
at?
At the Galerías, so right in my neck of the woods.
Nice. Gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
I've been to the Aquino restaurant, so I don't think I've had a chance to brag about that here in the pod, but it's a nice
Yeah, I
restaurant. It's
think
got a lot
you
of
mentioned that to me, I think
Did
off
I?
air or something. Maybe.
What kind of
Yeah.
food, Alfred?
I mean, just general like American style. Like you got everything like burgers, and you got some tacos in there as well. It's not something fancy. It's not. You don't go for the food. Ultimately, it's the experience. They got good beer, like a good selection of like different types of foreign beers and whatnot. And then at the same time, like you have like all the memorabilia, like sports memorabilia. So he's got like obviously Tigres and soccer jerseys from some of the biggest players. He's got like Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, shirts in there. But then he's also got like other sports shirts like Tom Brady and some basketball players and whatnot. So he's got a whole bunch of little neat things that you can go and take your pictures, with and appreciate. So it's a nice experience. I recommend it.
Some interesting restaurants in Monterrey. Between that, the Tigres one that's about to open, they just opened a Real Madrid one. I can't remember where that one's at, but that one's new.
Now,
Gui-
Arnaldo was mentioning that apparently Guignac is opening another
yes,
little bakery.
yes, yeah. He's
Yeah.
about to open one. They've been promoting that on Instagram as well. So I'll look it up here in a second and show it to y'all. But yeah, he's working on that as well. Anyways, enough about restaurants because otherwise I'm gonna go get another one of these protein cookies or I don't know, get some random something from my
Louis over
pantry.
there with this panecito con leche or con café or I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That seems nice. Appropriate for the weather, huh?
Excuse my unprofessionalism, bro.
Right, you eating a concha over there or what?
We picked up some. There's a Korean bakery called Two Le Jour. I don't know if you guys have one over in Dallas and Houston,
No, but that sounds amazing.
but they have really good pastry, so pick some up and then a little
Nice.
cafecito.
Ooh, very
Round it
nice,
all
very
out.
nice, very nice. All right, let's keep it moving. That's a lot of Champions Cup talk. Spoiler alert for all you people watching / listening. We've been discussing privately some lineup ideas for the final. We're not going to share them tonight because there's still some time, but we have some ideas as to how we think the team should line up, and we'll get to that as we get closer to the game. But the game is May 30th. It is a 6 p.m. Texas time kickoff that night. It's early for us, and it's at Toluca Stadium. So just a PSA on that. Obviously, we'll keep saying it as we get closer. Looking forward now, though, to Saturday, second leg against Chivas at El Acron, side of the World Cup this summer as well. Big game, 3-1 lead on aggregate. Chivas not getting their guys back, even though for a second yesterday it looked like they may have gotten their guys back, but because of payasadas and dramas and cosas de película and cosa de novela in the Mexican national team, their starters are not coming back. So we will face basically the same team we played last week. But as we start talking about this game, I think we need to discuss some of the rotation that probably needs to happen within our squad because we've got some tired legs, a lot of intense games that have been played, some potentially more coming up. Should we advance this weekend? How do we see ourselves lining up on Saturday in the second leg?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think you keep Garza, right? I mean, Nahuel Garza, keep him because Garza came off some rest, so I think he's still fresh. Uh, Big question is, do we continue to save Joaquim or we plug him in? I think it might be a good idea for this game, plug him in, play Joaquim with Angulo, or you can play Joaquim with Rafa, and then stick with Paco Reyes, and I think maybe give him some limited minutes. Give some limited minutes to
Oroña.
what's it? No, the other guy that's coming back,
Farfan.
Farfan.
Farfan's back.
Man.
Since he's back, maybe just slot him in a little bit, kind of get him up to speed. Because I think we're gonna need to rest Gorri for sure. That to me is the one that we have to rest. So if we rest them, then you can play Araujo
Romulo.
with Romulo and let it like Araujo become more of a Gorri type and Romulo more of your defensive type. Kind of switch the roles there a little bit, and then you can sort of keep what you finished with against Nashville, perhaps. I don't know about what you guys think, but I'm even like contemplating we sit Buffalo and start Gignac.
Yeah. Yes. Buffalo looked gassed. At least on the TV, he looked super gassed on Tuesday. I don't know if you differ with that, Alfred, since you were about 10 rows up, but he looked exhausted, and we're gonna need him down the line. I think you give APG a start for sure.
Ultimately, on both legs, I think we used them wisely in that sense. Pizarro to chase around the ball and chase around the defenders and put pressure. I think that was key because Nashville was very good about just coming out the back with the ball in control, and just Buffalo was all over them. Not letting them come out cleanly, or at least putting pressure so that they weren't making any, like, crazy through balls down the middle or anything like that. They had to, like, keep on passing the ball around to try to go around Buffalo that was just chasing them. And so I think that effort, yeah, obviously we don't want to talk about the Conca final yet, but that's what we're going to have different from last year with Ibanez or with Gignac, even now with Buffalo. So yeah, I would also agree. Let me maybe rest them, or have them come in in the second half. That might be it. That might be it. I'll be like Miguel Angel Garza Mag on Twitter. Whatever happened to Gacelo? Like, maybe we can bring in Gacelo Lopez. I don't know.
What's funny about that is it was just as soon as the game ended, like maybe like 20 minutes later, he's like, "Hey, what about I said?" I'm like, "Dude, what the heck?"
Bro, such
The
a troll.
timing's just hilarious. Another option is you forego the nine completely, bro. If you want to play possession, you could play Chicha on the left, Lainez on the right, Bruneta as your central attacking mid, and then leave Correa as your nine, your so-called nine.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you a lot of possession, bro. Make Chivas run around, chase the ball, and then later if you want to,
Still keep defensive players busy.
yeah, and then you can kind of modify it off of depending on the circumstances. We've done that similar formation last season against Chivas, and it worked out really good for us. At least in the first half, we controlled the ball. I think we had like 65% possession, so it ended up being pretty good. I think this is a type of game where it's important for us to be at least in the 60% possession to control the match, not give them many opportunities. Because at this point, I think Chivas is just going to have to try it with effort, right? Play all out, full throttle, see if they can force some errors, maybe a mistake playing out the back and they score and they get the crowd behind them. I think that's the only way I see it going. Otherwise, they're just too depleted and we've got too many weapons for them. So I think possession is the key. That way we don't wear ourselves out, and then we keep them occupied chasing the ball.
And we don't need to come out in like a low block and try to hold the lead either, because obviously, as
No,
we've
no.
seen like over the last few weeks, that doesn't work, right? Like the Seattle game, prime example. We don't need to do that. We need to hold on to the ball, like you mentioned, and be the protagonist in this game and not let them do it. Because if they get one goal in the first half, the crowd's going to be behind them, and then this is not a situation where, you know, a draw on aggregate does us any good, right? We have to win this series outright. So,
In that sense, then I would keep Angulo over Rafa Guerrero next to Joaquin, and then maybe next game you sit out Angulo. So you need to have at least one of the center backs be able to come out clean with the ball, and I think out of the options that we have, that would have to be Angulo.
yep. No update on Ociel, right? We haven't heard too much of about
No, I
him.
read that he was at training, but training separately from the rest of the squad, as opposed to Joaquim, who is already fully integrated into the practice squad. So I'm guessing
Okay.
Ociel is probably not going to be available for this one, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I think we have Chicha has shown that he can handle that as long as we don't play Marcelo too much and we don't play Purata like AJ said. I think
Ha, yeah.
we should be.
Can you guys imagine? So the formation you were saying right now, Lou, with Linus, with Chicha on the wings, Bruneta behind the nine. But we come out, we sit. Imagine we sit Correa, we come out with Guignac, and we manage to hold a 0-0 until minute 60, and then Correa comes in. Imagine,
Oh, that would
imagine Chivas
man.
fans
Dude,
seeing that happen.
honestly, I wouldn't hate that either
On tired legs, dude. Oof.
because Correa looked fried on Tuesday too. I mean, his dribbling was not right at all. He was losing the ball too easily.
Yeah, and that was all. That was a lot of it was fatigue, bro. And you
That's what I'm
notice
saying.
Pizarro pulled Bruneta out, but I think the guy that needed the rest more was Correa, bro.
100%.
He's been getting overworked.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
rest him.
I don't hate that suggestion that Alfred made it all, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually sounds actually really good.
So, in conclusion, Nahuel Garza, Joaquim, Angulo, Paco, Cachete, Gorri, not Gorri, Rom, Brew, Chicha, Linez, APG.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Send that to Pizarro, bro.
You got his number on speed dial?
Por WhatsApp.
Nombre, güey. No manches. I need us to not give up a goal early. We need to come out and put our foothold on the game pretty quickly, and just take the crowd out of it. Um, the the sooner we do that, the better because we don't need to suffer. We really don't. So
Yeah, I mean, if you look go back and watch this game kind of with a cool head, this last one, it honestly Chivas didn't do a whole lot to hurt us. It was just more circumstances and frustration. I think the boys are really frustrated over that referee call
right,
that allowed that goal to stand. I mean, if
And it
they don't
wasn't just
score
that one.
there,
It was several calls. Like, I was there at the game, and it was several just key plays where dispute of the ball, and Chivas players were clearly fouling, and the ref was just like not calling it. And I think we obviously had, I think Gorri, got a yellow card just because he was complaining to the ref, not even because of a foul, or I think because he called for VAR or whatever, on a foul that he received. So, but I think at the half, then ultimately, they probably sat down. Probably Pizarro said, "Hey, settle down, guys. Cool off, and we need to be smart." And ultimately, that's what needs to happen this game. And I feel like it's almost going to be a very similar game to this Nashville game that we just had. Where we just got to control the ball, and we just got to make sure that we control the pace of the game. Has to happen in the pace that we want it, not in the pace that Chivas wants it.
agreed.
yeah, and I think if you go into the game knowing that the refereeing decisions are not going to go our way at all, I think the guys will be better able to handle it. More of a cool head because let's just be realistic. Chivas didn't give up 5 players without a little bit of backdoor dealings with the federation and the referee commission. I'm sure they said, "Hey, anything that's even remotely close, it's going to go in your favor because you sacrificed 5 players." So,
I
Well,
wouldn't be
especially with
surprised
El
if they get
Gato
Santander.
Ortiz. Especially
Oh,
if
is it
the
going to be
Gato.
Gato Ortiz?
Tato
Yeah.
Ortiz.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so expect some shady situations.
Some
We
ayuditas,
just
if you will.
we just need to weather the storm. That's just all we
Ayuditas
need to
punto
do.
com.
Yep.
Get put ourselves out of positions that if Joaquin plays, just needs to not do his early season stuff, right? Just be
Yeah.
calm, especially
Yeah.
in the box.
Agreed. Agreed. It'll be nice to have him back too, because from a set piece perspective, he had been such a weapon. Like scored a few goals off corners, and we've kind of lost some of that a little bit in his absence. So, be nice to have him back, even from an offensive perspective. Agreed, Threaker. Play clean, pure ball. Agreed. Prediction
Tuka ball.
time, chat.
Tuka ball.
Get in here, chat. Drop your predictions. We're gonna start with Fred.
1-0 win. 1-0 win. Like I said, 0-0 all the way through like minute 60 or so, minute 70. And then, once Chivas is like full throttle, everybody up top, like we get, a nice little counterattack goal near the end of the game. I like it.
Okay. Threaker saying we need a Romulo goal, and he's thinking 1 or 2-0. Lou?
I think it'll be a repeat of Friday. I think it'll be a 3-1. I think
Ah, all right.
at some
Nice.
point they're gonna have to risk it. They're gonna have to push up. There'll be space, and I think that should lead to a good amount of goals.
I'm gonna say 2-1, but the one we give up happens late. We just kind of take our foot off the gas for a second, and they get one, a consolation goal, if you will. So, okay, so on the topic of Liguilla, so let's say hypothetically we move on. We would play. I guess it depends on what happens in the other series,
Mas
right? If
Yeah, that Pumas America one is gonna be a toss up in my opinion.
yeah, because if America moves on, we would then play Cruz Azul probably, because they would be the highest seed left.
Did Cruz Azul move ahead of Pachuca?
Yes, they're the 3. The Toluca
but
Pachuca is the 4-5.
Oh, that's right.
but America's below us.
Yeah, so it would be Cruz
So if
Azul,
Oh, you're right. You're
Cruz
Cruz
right.
Azul
Azul
You're
America,
right.
America, and we
You're
would
right.
we'd
play
be
Yes.
facing
Pachuca.
Toluca
We'd be
Yeah.
playing
uh,
Pachuca.
Or
or
Toluca.
Pachuca.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who do you got? Who do you got winning, Alfred, between Pachuca and Toluca?
I think Toluca comes back, but I would prefer Pachuca passes.
I think Pachuca gets it done.
I
I
do
just
too.
I just think I think Toluca has all their eggs in the Conca basket, in my
Okay,
opinion.
basket.
Yeah.
Could be.
AJ saying 3-0. I like that for Saturday. I'm taking Pachuca. I think Cruz Azul will barely squeak by. I mean,
It's gonna be the Pumas America game. That's gonna change everything.
bro, I don't know. I can't put a read on it because America played so well last week. I don't know. I can't decide.
So I think we either play Pumas or Pachuca Toluca, one
Yeah.
of those.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not playing Cruz Azul. You can't.
Can't play them in theory until the final, I guess.
Correct.
Some people are saying America Tigres rematch final.
Shoot, it means we host
Hey,
second leg.
that would mean that it would be at home. I would fucking love that.
Hey,
You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna put my money on America. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make it happen,
hey,
guys.
all I'm saying is, Fred, for my lack of appearance on Tuesday, if we make the league final, I'm moving
Here.
heaven and earth to be there. I don't care what leg we have.
Excellent.
Move heaven and earth.
Hey, the
Especially
final would be what, like on the 24th?
no, yes, you're right. It would be Thursday the 21st, and then Sunday the 24th, and then we would play the Conca final 6 days
A
later.
week later. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd have a week off between, which would be nice. I'm not gonna lie, guys. During my break and my job today, I had the dream of of the final whistle going off at the Nemesio 10, and the announcer saying, Tigres win the Champions Cup 6 days after winning the league, and Guignac goes out with 2 trophies. I had the dream today, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Damn, that just the sound of that.
bro. That's
Oh my
that's
God, it
that's the
gives
fairy
me
tale ending, bro. That's the
goosebumps,
fairy
bro.
tale
Let me
ending.
Like,
wipe the tears. Let me wipe the tears off my eyes, bro.
Oh
like
man.
how, like if that were to happen, like we would literally like have to start carving out the statue
Yeah,
of
get the
Guignac,
statue, bro.
like the minute after, the moment
And
they
it better
land in
be at a
Monterrey,
solid bronze, bro.
start carving.
Well, and the funny thing too is that if that happens, I mean, do you even let Guignac go when Intercontinental Cup would be in December? Then you have to ask that question. I'm just
Let's
saying.
not get ahead of ourselves, man.
I
But
know,
that
I know,
sounds
I know.
really good,
I
dude.
know, I know. It's hard not to, man. It's hard. There's a good feeling about the team. The
It
team
just
is
it
it's
does feel
peaking.
like it though, right? It feels
It's
that way.
peaking. Yeah, like the vibes are good. They're getting better, and the team's peaking at the right time. I'd personally build the statue for free.
Ooh,
Ándele
we
a
got
trabajar,
Ende,
güey.
baby.
You hear that, Tigres?
Go.
Let him leave for his birthday. Yeah, for when he turns 45 or whatever he turns this year. No, I'm playing. He's not turned 45. He's not that
41,
old.
I think.
Yeah,
41.
yeah, 41. Anyways, so that's Saturday. I believe it's a 7:30, 8:30 kickoff Saturday. I can't remember. Are we the early game or are we the late game on Saturday? I can't remember. I know it's on Telemundo because Chivas are also on Telemundo here in the States.
So over here in Monterey is 7,
8,
so that's 8 your
It's 8
game.
o'clock. 8 o'clock back here. Okay, so
which
tune
by
in.
which by
But
Liga
actually,
MX
we're the
standards.
first game
Oh, okay.
because Cruz Azul Atlas would actually plays 10 p.m. your time. It's at midnight.
Yep.
Ah, I got to
And
connect
then
with
the
Cemex here in Houston
Sunday
so I
is
can get a
Pachuca
crew together.
Toluca.
AJ out here with the connections to Cemex is crazy. Te van a poner a trabajar gratis y solo te van a pagar en tacos, if that. Unos
Look,
taquitos de taco.
the Pumas America game is the last game on Sunday. So
Dude, jeez. That game's going to be chaos, man. Absolute chaos.
At Seu, bro.
Yeah,
Man.
bro. Woo!
Yeah,
They
that's
haven't had
gonna be fireworks.
they
no,
haven't had a
no,
monumental game there in ages. You know the crowd's pulling up for that. Holy cow. Okay, well, we've been on a happy slash good vibes train for a second. Um, unfortunately, we kind of need to bring the mood down a tiny bit because Tigres Femenil have let us down. I know we talked about it last week on Sunday during that game,
did
but
they let you down though? I mean, were your expectations high?
oh yeah, I mean expectations always at least make the final, but after that first game, it looked pretty
That's
rough.
that's that's how I felt. Like I feel like after the first leg, it was a kind of uphill. Just it was going to be hard, and ultimately, I didn't believe that Pedro Losa had it in him to allow the girls to give him the best tools at hand to for the comeback.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we said a lot last week, but I'm just gonna kind of leave the space open for y'all to share any more thoughts as we've processed the elimination and uh, you know, the future of this team, knowing that there should be some change on the horizon, but who knows if we'll get that change.
Well, that's what's frustrating is that on the femenil side, the decisions have been very slow. I'm not sure what causes that, but we went through it with Milagros Martinez right after that embarrassing loss, where frankly she should have been fired right after the game, and weeks went by, and then just before the start of the season, they announced Pedro Losa, and he can't show up for another 4 weeks, and so we were without a coach for 5 games, and then now he's trying to put together the season, and it's just a lot of commotion, a lot of stress that we don't need. I think if which we should. But if we get rid of Pedro Losa, it needs to be very quick in the next couple of days. Announce something, and that way you can bring in a coach. I know there's plenty of time, but there's also competition coming up with Conca and everything else. So you have to start prepping, and ultimately the issue with Pedro is just the work on in practice. I don't see the work. I don't see his hand on the squad. I look at the squad and the shape's wrong, our positioning's wrong, our decision making's wrong, our movement. At times we couldn't even string two or three passes together, and I'm not talking about long range passes. Sometimes 10 yards and you can't make the pass with nobody on you. It just goes to show that we're not working hard enough in practice to develop that muscle memory. Um,
Looks like the end of the Milagros Martinez tenure again.
oh yeah, yeah. Maybe
Identical.
even worse. Yeah. And it's just been pathetic. And I think he lacks a little bit of humility. I don't know if it's this the Spaniard thing. I mentioned it that he kind of reminded me of the neighbors coach Torrent, where he feels like he's kind of above the city,
Like he's
above
always
the
right.
yeah, always right. You guys just don't know ball. That kind of attitude, and I think it hurts him. I said it.
Hold on. We have a double nation in the chat. ¿Cuánto le pagaron a Alfred para su cameo? uh,
we had to get into that Calle
una
Siete
multa.
sponsorship, man.
Una multa. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So yeah, just disappointing, man. I think I don't know. I keep thinking that we're in bed with this agency that's placing players on us. I don't want to go too deep into the conspiracy rabbit hole,
Been
but
saying it. I've been saying it for
yeah,
10 damn years. And I've been
yeah,
saying it.
yeah. And I mean, I wanted to be positive when you said it, and I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, but unfortunately, some of the decisions are you're like scratching your head and wondering like, were they just placed on us, or did our scouting department request this player? And just looking at some of the players like Yves Pericet and Ilan
Just
Izquierdo.
just think of it as a business model, right? Like you're the agency. You have all these players across, different countries, different teams, and you have the ability because you're in bed with all these teams, right? You have the ability to just like move players around, from one team to another. And in each transaction, you're getting money out of it.
Yeah,
Like the business is set. It's a done deal. Like I want to be part of that business. Like you're literally like moving players from one pocket to the other and pocketing some change in between.
yeah, and I think it's hurting us. I think it's starting to show that it's not working out in our favor. Um, and at some point we've been blaming the coaches, but I think at some point we're gonna have to get a little more heavy-handed with the girls. I think a lot of times we give them a pass, but I think the criticism needs to start rising because this kind of fall in performance is just not acceptable when you have such a deep roster with so many figures. And so, word on the street is Medina was too tough on them. They ran him out. Perhaps it was time for him to move on. But I think the early Medina phase was probably some of the best ball we've had played. Um, you can argue obviously that Vato had them flying, but um, we just haven't reached that level of dominance. And I think sometimes you need a coach that has a firm hand that says, "Hey, this is the minimum standard, and we're going to hold you accountable to that standard. We're not going to let you
Now
slide."
and now the level of the league has also raised, I believe. There's now multiple great players, scattered throughout the league. There's multiple teams that are that their scouting departments are working good. I mean, honestly, I probably think that Toluca might even take it this year. And just the fact that now, the level of the league is higher, so you're not going to be able to, outshine them just with a couple of players and or with a few sparks here and there. Now you need consistent play. Now you need, just a good level of team, and players, and all lines, to make sure that we are able to compete to stay competitive. Because I think that's also in play, that the competition has gotten stronger, and we've just kind of stagnated, if not, dropped down a level from where we were.
Yeah, and because the competition's gotten stronger, I think we also need to start looking at our bench players. We don't need bench players that are there just for the vibes, that are gonna like make the team spirit better in the locker room. We need players that are hungry, that want to compete for the starting role, right? And I think there's certain positions where there's just no competition. Um, like Anika, for example, I'm not gonna fault her effort because she works her butt off, but she goes down. There's nobody there to fill that role, and
Not
there's
at the level
positions
that she does.
there's just positions where like, if Diana Ordonez were to go down and you bring in Fer Elizondo, that's a big drop. And so you need players that are gonna really battle for those positions. And if you have a bad game, the coach is gonna think, hey, I got somebody on the bench that's ready to come in and go. You need that
And then
internal
some of the
competition.
starters, and some of the starters too, their level is not, where we need it to be. I think Alexia Delgado, she never filled, the boots of Mercado. She just never did. Unfortunately, they were
Not even
way
close.
too big for her. Way too big for her. We thought we had greater expectations out of her, and I think it was a failed experiment with her, and we need to move on. And then, with, sorry, Spanish girl. I
Jenny
just feel
Hermoso.
like she's Jenny Hermoso. She's too old. I feel like she's too slow. And ultimately, if you have the right pieces around her, you can make it work. But when, you have certain pieces missing, or other, players around her, their level is not there. She can't carry the team. That's the honesty. She can't carry the team on her own, and she doesn't have it in her anymore. She's not at that age where she could carry this team.
Yep, all well said. It's unfortunate that we're not talking about them playing a game right now. It feels very weird that this early in May, the season's over, but it is what it is, and there are a lot of lessons to be learned about how the season ended, and we'll see what happens from there. Hopefully the breakfast meeting that we've long been waiting for will happen soon. I know Lou was calling out for it
They're
earlier in the
either
week.
waiting for Guignac's, restaurant to open, and they'll invite him there.
Andale. Well, apparently, so speaking of, I looked it up. So it's called Petite I don't even want to say the second word. Canaille. Okay.
No, Canal. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But it looks like it's a pizza restaurant.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because if I don't know if I'm wrong, but I was under the understanding he already had some type of bakery here, or at least there was a bakery where he was always being spotted around,
yeah,
and
the
I
one in
thought it
San
had something to
Pedro.
do with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess. I don't know. Edgar, he doesn't even deserve breakfast. Un gansito y vámonos. Bro.
and a cold coffee, right? Like it's
Dog.
not even warm.
Yeah. Bro, I don't think I've told y'all. I'm gonna embarrass one of my friends. He doesn't even know that I'm even gonna talk about him on the show. So I have a buddy of mine who lives here who is allergic to strawberries, and I forgot that he was allergic to strawberries one time. So I told him, hey, because he likes like you know fast food and snacks like that. Like he's like 40 years old, but he be eating bad. Like he'd be eating like a teenager. So I was like, yo, let me have you try this gansito. He's like, oh, what is it? So I gave it to him, completely forgetting that he's allergic to strawberries. And first bite, he was like, oh crap. And he like was feeling it. Like stuff started to flare
I
up.
highly doubt Gansito has any real strawberries in
But
it,
even
though.
just
Yeah.
the flavor, like I guess did it for him because he like he had a reaction to it. Not bad because he was like, "Oh crap!" Like him and I both didn't notice until he ate it, but he took a medicine like really quickly for it, so it wasn't that bad. But I've been able to,
So let's
atone.
find out what Pedro Losa's allergy is, and
Maybe, yeah. But thankfully, my friend likes the gancitos, the cherry ones. He can actually eat those. So if you know, you know. Cherry gancitos go hard. Um, Thank you, Edgar, for having
Hopefully,
me
we
on
look
a side
beyond
tangent.
Spain for the new coach.
Yes, as Streaker said, French coaches maybe is the way. Anybody, bro, at this point, god dang. Bring in somebody who's managing one
Let
of
let
those.
let Juninho have a shot, I guess.
let
Ah,
Chima Ruiz have a shot.
Hey,
shoot.
man,
He's back with the team, isn't he? He's like doing youth stuff or
No, I think
he's
he just
Tampico
made
Madero.
a champion. Yeah, he or he got him to a final or something like that.
Oh,
He,
that's right.
I
He's in Segunda División, right?
think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I
That
think he
sounds
took
right.
the Tampico Madero job.
That's right.
He's been doing well with it.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
I mean, not that it matters anymore. There's no promotion and relegation.
Yeah, pinche liga ridícula.
Yeah,
Um,
he just got the title in Apertura 2025.
Good for him. That's awesome. That's awesome. I saw a rumor today that we do have one confirmed or almost confirmed um departure with gosh, what's her name? I already forgot her name. Wasn't even that memorable. Deity or
Oh,
Dillery?
They,
Dilari.
Dillery, thank you. Not Deity, Dillery. Yeah.
Andy
I think she's
Ramirez. I was
gone.
like, what?
Yeah, I think she's gone.
Dilari Heredia, right? Is her last name Heredia?
Yep. Yep. I think she's not gonna be here next year.
And whatever's gonna happen with Emma Watson.
The $1,000,000 question.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able. I don't think we have the option to buy with her.
La Dillards.
The dealers.
No, hombre. Este güey está en el chat a decir puras mamadas, bro.
Hey, he where are these comments when he's live on the pod? Like
He's all shy. He's all shy live, bro.
Getting
he's
called
always
out.
putting the best comebacks and the best one-liners on the chat.
Bro, like what did he call Willie earlier in the big
El
chat?
cabeza de
The
Roblox.
Roblox? Bro, that's the funniest thing. Oh my goodness. All right, a couple things and then we'll be done. I don't want to talk about femenil anymore because they make me depressed. Spotlight moment for today involves Chivas because the last time we played Chivas at El Acron in a Liguilla setting, I think we all know what happened the last time that happened. 3 years ago, the night of number 8.
I recall there was a Chivas announcer saying, "Nahuel, sácala," and then not too long after he was crying, "Sácala del
uh,
fondo,
bro.
Chivas, 2 a
And
0."
then they got beaten by us through the
I'm sure
magic
they'll if we
altar of Guido.
when we knock them out on Saturday, those will start resurfacing those audios.
Oh, please. That would be utterly amazing. I would love that so much. But we've talked about Chivas previously with a spotlight moment, so I wanted to keep that brief for today. I want to end with a couple random bits. I feel like even though we don't necessarily have to, I feel like as a podcast that covers Liga MX, or a team in Liga MX, a team in Mexico, I feel like we
But
should.
technically, I was a Toluca insider last week, bro. So
Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
we're all league now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have to at least somewhat mention the stupidity that happened yesterday with the. Are they going to go? Are they going to be able to be on the World Cup
Bro,
roster.
the memes all day were just
Bro,
gold.
amazing.
Gold.
Great Twitter day.
My
If you know, you
favorite
know.
ones were it's 8:01 p.m. They're not letting in Gilberto Mora because he went to go get a gansito at the Oxxo or whatever.
Because it was
Or
past
no,
his
or
bedtime.
the ones where they were saying, because nobody's letting their players go, so like the first 23 people to come by with their ID and with the money for the arbitraje, they're gonna play the World.
Somebody did the Chivas. Remember the Chivas when they didn't have any reinforcements that one season, and they were like, "Our reinforcement is the 12th man, the fans," and they had like a list, like a bunch of fans lined up. So so they were playing that video, and they were like El Vasco Aguirre announcing the players for the 2026 World Cup.
Bro, it killed me that ese way was making all a big fuss about it, and then that dude almost showed up late to his own deadline, like a few minutes before Vega. And
Oh,
Alexis
and then
Vega
Ricardo.
and those guys were like driving in full speed, bro. Like 3 minutes to go.
there was there was one meme talking about, I forget who was gonna shut the door at 7:55 p.m. to not let Ochoa in.
Bro.
The Charlie
uh,
Rodriguez ones, bro, where he's the only one concentrado, everybody's off the team, but it's just him. Oh man, it was just so good.
oh man, what a day! I'm so
You
glad it
know,
didn't affect us.
Mexican fans, bro, in soccer we might not win anything, but off the pitch
We have a great time.
in the meme battles and everything, they're just straight fire.
We truly have a great time. I mean, the federation, the national team, they do it to themselves.
Doesn't help themselves.
Not at all. And like I said, so glad that none of our players were involved in that nonsense. There was a lot of it was funny seeing a lot of US people like upset like for us or for I guess the Mexican team in general like this is stupid. Why are they letting them going away from their teams when the real World Cup preparation should be these playoff games and all this stuff that guys like Taylor Twellman and all these other cats were saying.
Hercules and everybody.
Yeah, it's like which I get it. I get the sentiment, but it's funny that they're taking it more seriously than we are. We're just like, get chiste
Well,
way.
because what's funny is they're doing all this preparation, right? And watch them not make it out of the group stage.
Bruh, exactly. Exactly. They
You know,
should, but quien sabe, bro. Quien sabe. Who knows? Um, can we talk about I wanted to talk about the other Champions League, but you know what I feel like we should talk about real quick is Las Payasadas and Real Madrid, bro. Because what on God's earth is happening at that club, bro? What do you mean that Fede Valverde got a traumatic brain injury? What do you mean? That doesn't make
well,
any sense.
then later he put out a statement saying he accidentally fell on the table and
Yeah.
cut his forehead open, but it wasn't such a big deal. Like, quién
No
sé qué.
manches.
What are they pulling a Rayados with the leg through the glass door kind of deal, or what? What's going on?
Basically, I don't know.
Supposedly, the early reports were saying that uh, Chomani did like a slide tackle, and Fede Valverde didn't like it, right? So they got up, had some words, and then they went back and forth right during practice, like both
Yeah.
kind of like sliding hard on each other. And then afterwards is when they had like a verbal altercation, but then they went into the locker room and supposedly Chomani knocked him out cold, and that's why he had to run. They had to take Valverde to the hospital
Bro,
with
that
with.
and everybody hates each other and freaking Mbappe's on vacation with his girlfriend in Italy and bro,
They need to clean house, bro. That it's just
vámonos. Vámonos.
bad juju over there. It
Fulgencio
might
snuck
be.
onto the Real Madrid roster.
I was actually thinking, imagine if Fulgencio had been there, bro. He would have had a field day.
Bro, he would have fit right in.
He would have called next. He would have been like, "Oh, Valverde went down. I'm next, bro.
Yeah.
Let me in.
Bro,
No,
him
and
Let me in,
no, no,
coach."
no, and tercero behind them eating a pizza, bro. Like,
bro, but them two and Soteldo in that locker room, bro, they would have a great
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Puras peleadas, bro. I just they're I understand there's a lot of people who really like that team, but What a, I know one of you as well. What an interesting institution. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to piss anybody off, but anyways, okay. The European Champions League, UEFA Champions League. I thought that the game yesterday, even though it was not as high scoring as the first leg, was great. Um, Very happy that PSG made it. I would have been fine if Bayern had made it, but I'm happy PSG made it, and I think that they should take care of business pretty easily in the final. I'm not gonna lie. Their attacking threat is insane.
I wouldn't say
Another reason to
easily.
win the another reason to win the Conca, just to be able to face PSG.
Dude, play them in Intercontinental? Woo! Sign me up.
Man, you ain't
Paco
lying.
Reyes shutting down Kvaratskhelia, bro. Come on. I need it. I need it. They're so good, man. I would I would be stunned if they don't go back to back, to be honest with you. They're just really good. Arsenal's really
Yeah,
good
they're just
defensively
really well
though.
coached.
Yep. Enrique crushed it yesterday with his game plan. Like he baited Bayern to like play a basketball game and then he was like, actually I'm gonna park the bus and we're gonna lock down defensively and it worked really well. So that final is the same day as our final. So for all you footy snobs like me, real real unemployed hours sitting in front of the couch all day on that Saturday watching Doble Champions League final. UEFA in the afternoon and us in the evening. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready.
Should be a
Yeah.
good one, man.
Do you guys think PSG takes it or is there an Arsenal upset in the cards?
I'm gonna go PSG, but I don't think it'll be as easy as you think, Dennis. I think they'll keep it close.
That's fair.
I think no, I think PSG takes it and probably smokes Arsenal. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about European play, but what I've seen, there's a big difference there in the two teams.
I don't think it will be as bad as last year's final because it's very similar. Like, oh, Inter Milan had a great defense, um, and then they got smoked. I don't think it'll be like that. I think Arsenal's better than that, but I think it could be a multiple goal, a multiple goal scoreline. No pueden perder los dos. Honestly, I agree. No, boo, get out for the OM rivalry, bruh. There's not a lot of people who like Arsenal. Woodsy being one
I
of them.
liked Arsenal back in the days, back in the Thierry and Henry days.
Yes, when they were actually likable, not this current iteration. But
I
we've had
couldn't I couldn't name three players off of the Arsenal squad. So
we've had two lame UCL brother. We've had like 5 lame UCL finals in a row. The last time that a UCL
Nah,
final
bro. Inter PSG was good, bro.
it wasn't.
last
They got
year,
smoked.
they got smoked.
Oh
It
yeah, I'm
wasn't a
thinking.
good
I'm
game,
thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking about the other game. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
dude. We haven't had a final where the other team scored a goal that wasn't the winner since I think the Liverpool Real
Liverpool,
Madrid
Real Madrid,
the 2018 final. Because
20,
every
2019.
2018, because 2019 was when Liverpool beat Spurs.
Yeah, yeah.
Lou, there's AC Milan fans in the room. Fans, plural,
Just you,
singular.
bro.
I don't
Just
know
you.
who he's talking about.
Alfred's like, who's AC Milan?
Bro, this
What
is
what
suffering
kind
because
what kind of air conditioner is that?
AC Milan.
bro, that's crazy. Es que bro está triste porque Inter won the Scudetto last week.
Oh, really?
That's probably why he's salty. Yeah, if I had to
I
guess,
have,
of course.
I don't keep up with European play, but no, I just remember, back when I was, a kid or and I was deep into soccer and I was involved in like well, playing FIFA, and you got to play with like all the teams and all the players. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I got stuck, back in the ages, and where like Inter Milan was good with like that blue and black kid with like yellow lining. Like, I like that kid. And then obviously the Chelsea team with like Drogba and with Robin. Like, I love that team. But like, I never really stuck to like one European team. I was always like kind of moving around, depending on like which team was like likable at the moment. But
Right. Hey, speaking of FIFA, FC, uh, it's basically official now that Liga MX will be back on EAFC next season, which would be great for us.
Come
Hopefully,
again?
yeah, the video game. W-
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. My
what
bad,
used to
my
be
bad.
called FIFA, now FC. FC 27 should have Liga MX. The rights should be back on there. So
with the
maybe.
gameplay of FIFA 16 still, or what?
Well, maybe. I mean, ever since they changed the name to FC, the gameplay has been really bad, like genuinely horrific. FIFA
Worse
22,
than it was before?
bro. FIFA 22 was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I still play FIFA 22 all the time, not just because that's the last time Liga MX was on there. Like, it's actually the best gameplay. But ever since then, it's been atrocious. So also, I play video games once every 4 months at this point. So it goes.
And it'll become less and less as you grow.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm already feeling it now. So, yeah, see, Trigger even agrees with me. So, all right, let's land the plane there. Um, as we've kind of been doing over the last couple weeks, listeners, viewers, we will probably be a little bit off schedule, or off our usual schedule before our next episode. So I don't know exactly when we'll record again. We may decide to do Sunday night again. We may not. We may go back to our Tuesday routine now that the league schedule kind of gets back into play. Hold on, off topic, bruh.
Yeah,
What are you
man.
talking
He
about?
he does he
Oh,
Vatios has some really cool designs, and I think he designed Leon's one of Leon's jerseys, like special edition jersey. He's like really cool designer, bro. I don't know if you saw one of the posts that Trigger put up that has the new escudo rendering. He
Oh,
does
okay.
all that. Vatios does that,
Okay. I see.
and
I
his
see.
Twitter handle is at Vatios Vatioz.
Okay, I'm
If you've
tracking you.
never heard of the guy, check him out. He's a really cool designer. Um, Comes up
so
with a
speaking
lot
of
of
kids,
cool.
guys, we know we have a curse. We don't lift a trophy if our kid doesn't say Tigres or UANL on the chest.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, because this
This is
year
the
we
year.
got a shirt with the Tigres and UANL on chest. All they got to do is they got to play with this one.
Yeah.
It's the same kit. It's
Man,
the
you
same kit.
you got your hands on
So
it, big dog. I'm
I
surprised.
did, I did, and it's the player version too. So
Yeah,
it's
I know.
nice.
Golly.
It's nice.
The last time I was in Monterrey, they had them at the Tigre Tienda Galerías, which is right by where we're at, but it was only in smalls.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed
yeah. No,
out
I
on it.
I happen to find this one on Medium too. Yeah,
Oh wow. What were you saying,
If
Lou?
you ever find a large or extra large Alfred, hook me up, bro.
they're hard to find. Actually, they were on a rack like as like the last pieces, and there it was like three small and one medium, and I picked it up, and I even asked because like it fits really tight on me because the player version is obviously like a smaller version. And so I even asked like the guy, the cashier, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have any L's?" And he's like, "I took the last L for me." So he's like, "No, I'm sorry. Like that's
Fair.
it. They're gone."
Dang.
Yeah,
They online, dude. I think within an hour, everything
Yeah,
was
they were
gone.
gone.
At least the
yeah.
common
That's why I didn't
sizes.
get a chance to buy them when they came out. So that's why as soon as I saw it, I went to the Tienda to get something else, I think for my daughter, and then I saw it. I was like, "Oh, I'm taking it."
Yeah. Yeah, those things were hot. Like hotcakes,
Yeah.
bro.
So
Crazy.
that's our only chance to be able to play a final with Tigres on the chest.
Well, hopefully what will happen is we win Conca, and then we're able to get a clean jersey this winter for Intercontinental, and then in 2029 have another clean jersey. Woo-wee! Sign me up. Another reason why we need to win it. For all the obvious reasons, of course. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't know when we'll record again, but as always, y'all check Twitter. We'll announce it whenever we decide to do so. As always, thank you for listening and subscribing and supporting us. Like I mentioned earlier, thank you to all you who have recently subscribed to the show on YouTube and followed us on Spotify. Keep telling your friends and people you know about us. Follow us on socials. All of our handles are on the screen / in the show notes and episode description, all that good stuff. If you want to be a part of the show, please let us know. We love to have more people involved, and hopefully this train will keep going. And hopefully by the time we record next, we're talking about an appearance in the league semifinal for Tigres. So hopefully that's the case. And like I said, we'll let you guys know when that next episode will be. But we'll wrap it up there. For Alfred, for Luis, for Arnoldo, and his 2 minutes cameo from the airport, and for me, Dennis, this is the Lautimes podcast. Thank you guys for watching and listening and supporting. We'll catch you guys either later this weekend or early next week. Arriba, Lu! See you guys later.
Peace.
Dígalo.